This episode is brought to you by our friends at Hover, the easiest way to buy domain names and do more with them. Get 10% off today by visiting hover.com/butterscotch.
That's who we are. That's our story. Now it's probably the one you've been reading in papers. The one being written by folks who've never even been here and don't know what we're capable of. Because when it comes to luxury, it's as much about where it's from as who it's for. Now we're from America, but this isn't New York City. Or the Windy City.
Andrew?
Or Sin City. And we're certainly no one's Emerald City.
City. And this is what we do.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of Chrysler Canada, Reed Bigland.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much for coming to the Chrysler press conference. That was the M&M video that we aired during the Super Bowl, and I'll tell you, the reaction that we've received to that ad is like nothing we've ever seen before. There was 117 million people that were watching the Super Bowl when that television commercial aired, and you know, the crazy thing about the Super Bowl is people actually watch the commercials. The following day on YouTube, there was over 4 million hits to watch that commercial. Every 20 seconds on Facebook, somebody was emailing that to a friend, and even here closer to home, hits to our Chrysler Canada website more than doubled. And really, to say that this advertisement kind of cut through, I think, is really an understatement. And the ad, aside from M&M and aside from the Chrysler 200, it's really an ad about overcoming adversity, and I think that's what's really hit a chord with people throughout North America. Is most people can relate to that because obviously in our personal or our professional lives, at one time or another, we've had to overcome a challenge, some adversity, and persevere to become more successful. And in the case of Chrysler Canada, that was certainly the case in 2009. Look, it was a very difficult year for our organization, but when we fast forward to 2010, it was a remarkable turnaround from where we were. In 2010, we gained more market share than any other manufacturer in the country. We gained 2 full percentage points of market share. Our sales were up 26% against an industry backdrop that was up only 6%. We were the only manufacturer to have 2 of the top 5 highest selling vehicles in the country. The Dodge Grand Caravan was the 3rd highest selling vehicle in Canada, and the Ram pickup truck was the 4th highest selling vehicle in Canada. And I think what's most notable is we launched 16 all-new or significantly refreshed products. And with very few exceptions, all of these products offer both more horsepower and more fuel economy, dramatically improved interiors, and a great improvement in value. And I think that Chrysler 200 is the perfect example of the value improvement: completely redesigned interior, redesigned exterior, V6 horsepower of 283 V6 horsepower, making it the most powerful midsize sedan in Canada, and unsurpassed V6 fuel economy at 42 miles to the gallon, coupled with an adjustment in the price point down by $4,000 at an entry-level price of $19,900, making it Canada's most affordable midsize sedan. But obviously a challenge with 16 all-new or significantly refreshed products is getting the word out and which products to reveal at shows such as the Toronto Auto Show. Well, a couple weeks ago in Montreal, we pulled the tarp off the Fiat 500, a product that is a great fit for the Canadian marketplace. And I have to admit that Fiat wall is a little bigger than I thought it was going to be. I think you could see that thing from the space shuttle. But we've got 12 Fiats on display, 55 miles to the gallon vehicle, ideally suited for the Canadian marketplace. And so far, interest in the Fiat continues to remain hotter than that of an Italian sausage. Jeep Compass as well, and the thing you notice about the Jeep Compass is just how similar it looks to the flagship Jeep, the Jeep Grand Cherokee, and in many respects is just a smaller version of the Jeep Grand Cherokee. But the fuel economy story with the 2011 Jeep Compass is equally remarkable. The 2011 gets up to 4 miles to the gallon improvement of fuel economy, and for 2011 it is now Canada's most fuel efficient 4x4 in the marketplace, ideally suited for Canadian winters and Canadian road conditions. But what I thought we would do here today in Toronto is just play a little bit off of the imported from Detroit theme and introduce kind of an imported from Canada theme. And just as I get ready to pull some tarps off here, I'll ask for a couple of volunteers, to help me do this. Oh, okay, perfect. You guys will do all right. For a minute there, I thought I was going to have to bring Cato and Vaughn up here to help me off with this. First vehicle was introduced in its predecessor form in 2004. It quickly resonated with consumers throughout North America, became the 2005 North American Car of the Year. It had a very distinctive, bold, and aggressive front end. And now for 2011, it is all new. Vehicle built right here in Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2011 Chrysler 300. Thank you. Obviously, the front end of the 300 is still aggressive, still bold, but obviously more refined than the 2010 model. And that's really where the similarities end. Completely redesigned exterior, completely redesigned interior, all new suspension and platform for this vehicle. And also an impressive fuel economy story as well, consistent with all of our new products, 42 more horsepower and up to a 4 mile to the gallon improvement in fuel economy to make this full-size sedan a very relevant vehicle in the marketplace. And in fact, it boasts 39 miles to the gallon fuel economy, which is equal to that of the average V6 mid-size sedan fuel economy. So you get a full-size vehicle with mid-size sedan fuel economy. The next vehicle is one that my colleague and friend, fellow Canadian Ralph Gilles, coined the Chrysler 300's angry brother. It shares the same manufacturing facility in Brampton, the same platform, but it's got a whole lot more attitude. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the 2011 Dodge Charger. There's no question when you look at the front end of the Charger, it is a mean machine. And similar to that of the Chrysler 300, its brother, also 42 more horsepower, 4 miles to the gallon improvement of fuel economy at the 39 mile, completely redesigned exterior, completely redesigned interior, 8.4-inch infotainment system in the interior, and all of the technological advances that you would expect from a modern-day platform and a modern-day vehicle. And again, it's that fuel economy that makes full-size vehicles relevant in the Canadian marketplace, which is critically important. And speaking about relevance, this next vehicle is about as relevant and about as practical as I think you can get. This vehicle last year was the 3rd highest selling vehicle in Canada. It began the year as the 2nd highest selling vehicle in Canada, and when you think about that, out of almost 250 different nameplates to choose from, it was the 2nd and 3rd most desirable vehicle in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, Chrysler's 800-pound gorilla, the 2011 Dodge Grand Caravan. Just a couple more points about this vehicle from its resume. It's been the #1 selling minivan in the country for 27 years in a row. There's no other vehicle in the country that dominates its respective segment the way that the Grand Caravan dominates the minivan segment. Minivan market share at right around 70% share. When that's coupled with the Chrysler Town & Country, almost 8 out of every 10 minivans sold in Canada belong to Chrysler. And for 2011, we've raised the bar even more. 108 more horsepower and 2 more miles to the gallon improved fuel economy on the 2011 Grand Caravan. I think the greatest invention of all since the Model T is second row stow and go, and we've now got a super stow and go feature in the Dodge Grand Caravan, and to this day the only minivan that has second row stow and go in a segment where the second most popular why buy is functionality. And that's really a competitive advantage that the Caravan has, and that competitive advantage has just become a lot stronger here in 2011. Redesigned exterior, redesigned interior. And look, there's no question that I think the minivan segment is a bit of the Rodney Dangerfield of segments out there. It doesn't get a lot of respect. It began 2011 up 47% over 2010 of January, more than any other segment from a growth perspective. But I think the bottom line when it comes to the van is this: until there's a vehicle that is out there in the marketplace that can comfortably transport 7 passengers, get easily double as a cargo van with literally the flip of a wrist, get great fuel economy at 36 miles to the gallon, and all be had for right around $20,000, this vehicle is going to be a serious contender to be reckoned with in the marketplace for a very long time to come. And in the case of Chrysler, I don't think I'm going out on too much of a limb when I talk about this. We're really betting on the family. We're betting that in the future there's going to be families. And those families may aspire to drive a Viper or drive a Challenger, but at the end of the day, they got to drop kids off at school and they've got to pick them up at hockey practice. And there is no other vehicle in the marketplace today that can do that better than the Dodge Grand Caravan, and its market share performance certainly bears that out. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for coming to the Chrysler Press Conference. Imported from Canada, Chrysler 300, Dodge Charger, Dodge Grand Caravan, and 3 vehicles part of the newest showroom in the country. Thank you very much.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at Hover, the easiest way to buy domain names and do more with them. Get 10% off today by visiting hover.com/butterscotch.